When you are security, your power ends at the end of your shift and at the end of that property line. We're not police officers, and that is why I believe we should not replace the police force. We should supplement the police force. Malik, your favorite captain. Desert Wall Security Agency. DesertWallAgency.com for careers, opportunities, or just to check us out. But first and foremost,
we've got the building surrounded!
Alright, our video today, private security guards on the rise as police numbers decline. Let's see what we're getting into here.
And we'll,
This is Mayor Marcus.
Stand by. Fire.
He brought us to this gun range to show us how he trains people to become armed security guards.
So I'll just tell you guys what we're going to do, and we'll just go through it one by one. Majority of it is classroom. Then you have hands-on courses that cover combatives, handcuffing, pepper spray, baton, and firearms. And you'll actually do those things hands-on as part of your training. Stand by. Fire.
Marcus works for Ranger Guard, a private security company based in Houston with roughly 400 security guards in Texas. It also operates in Florida and Nevada.
A big part of that comes down to response time. You can't beat the response time of someone that's there on site already.
Many of the guards he
I absolutely agree. And check out these holsters, man. So one of the biggest things I get as the captain and CEO of my company, when I get new hires, people always want to go armed, always. I'm assuming it's because they assume you get paid more for being armed, which in most cases is true. However, that is a big responsibility for you to be armed. You just heard him say somebody there is a faster response time than the police. So in these situations where you have to use lethal force, it is up to you. And me hiring you, I have to trust you. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you carry? In your normal everyday life, do you carry a firearm? If you do carry a firearm, how often do you train? Do you go to the range? What kind of holster do you have? What kind of ammunition do you have right now? Matter of fact, can you show me? Can you show me your ammunition? Because everybody who is versed in firearms would know the answers to these questions mean a lot. I don't want to see full metal jackets when you're walking around in your everyday life. Very dangerous. You need to have self-defense rounds, hollow points, what have you. If you are an armed security officer, I need you to see you with the level 3 holster. Because we have these little social media trends where armed instructors will walk up on security guards and literally take their weapon from them. Here's the problem with that. Sure, you are encouraging guys to get the appropriate holsters. However, you are teaching people who are watching these videos how to take guns from security officers. It's one of those things where you might be doing a little bit of good, but you're also doing a lot of bad. So again, I want to know what kind of gun you got. How long have you been training? Have you worked armed before? And then you got to go through all these classes. In Arizona and Nevada, we do have these classes the same as this, where you have to shoot, you have to disassemble. It wasn't that difficult for me because I shoot in my regular life to pass that class, but people have struggled. So it's big responsibility, a lot more than just that extra couple bucks an hour.
trains will patrol parking lots, construction sites, and even schools.
Okay, so I don't know if this guy's on duty here, but here's my problem. This is my problem right here. For one, I do not think this is a level 3 holster. I have to get closer to it. There doesn't appear to be anything over the top. That looks like a level 2. The exact ones they show you from TikTok. His extra mag is right next to his pistol. Your extra mag should always be offhand. Always be offhand. You're gonna have to reach across to reload. It just kind of doesn't make sense. Also, armed security. You need body armor. When you have this, they're telling you that there's a chance that others of these will be shooting little hot lead at you. So, always have your extra mags on the offhand, and always have some type of body armor. Let's go.
Like this private one in Houston.
In the past, The way that security guards were perceived was bad.
When I think of the word security guard,
Yeah,
I think of the
mock up.
Yeah. Ranger Guard's founder, David.
You heard that? When I think of security guard, I think of mall cop. That's also a good reason why you need to look good. You need to look like you know what you're doing. You need to be on point. We got some bad stereotypes we're all trying to get over to help each other. How I perform here in Phoenix, Arizona, affects you in Houston, Texas. It affects you in New York. It affects you in Oklahoma. We all have to work together to get past that stereotype. So, get the right gear. Look good while you're doing it. I mean, you're going to be doing it for 40-something hours a week, man. You might as well look good while you're doing it. Train up. Look good. Let's go.
David Catran may be aware of what some people think of security guards, but...
Look at that holster. My goodness. All you got to do is just tap that button. That gun comes right out. Terrible holster. We don't have any belt keepers either, so that means he gets in a scuffle, that thing is going to rise or fall. What are we doing here?
He says that's changing, especially with property crimes increasing last year in many large cities, according to a report by the national nonprofit, the Council on Criminal Justice. Crimes like car thefts and break-ins are solved only 13% of the time, according to Pew Research. He says businesses are willing to pay him more for someone to stand guard.
If we go back, I would say 5 years ago, where police would command, let's say, $45 an hour, and security guard company would come in at around $19 to $20 an hour. Today, I can say that we're even.
While more businesses may be turning to...
Even. You know, we have a lot of things going on politically. We have different areas that are a little softer on crime, and that tends to result in people committing more crimes. We have fluctuations in job availability. We have higher property crimes. We have all of these things that are happening. We have fewer police. Some police have chosen to walk away from the job early, which has a limited number of police. So you do see this response to hiring more security. My opinion, we need both. We need more police, more security for some of these high areas. You see that they said only 13% of a lot of these crimes get solved is because it takes so long for response time a lot of the times. Another thing is simply having a security guard there, even if they couldn't prevent the crime, your reporting will help to solve a lot of these crimes, even if it's a couple months down the road. You know, we have property crimes detectives that I speak to quite often. They will come and show me a photo lineup of a report I wrote for a company I don't even work for anymore. I have my own company for 5 years. They'll still come up, hey, you remember that one thing that happened? We need you to look at a lineup, see if you can spot the guy. I do the best I can. And a lot of businesses are learning that a standing guard is the best thing. Proactive security as opposed to being reactive, because a lot of times just having someone there, regardless of my critiques and criticism about appearance, a lot of times just having someone there will stop crimes of opportunity.
Private security, with many police departments stretched thin, Robert McCree, who teaches at the John Jay School of Criminal Justice in New York and has studied private security since the 70s, tells me it's important to understand the difference between private security and private police.
The industry doesn't like that term, private police, because they really aren't police. Private security officers are there to deter, to detect, to respond, but not to put their lives at risk if something untoward is occurring.
The qualifications to be a security...
Absolutely true. No matter how much of a badass you are, no matter your training, you are not a police officer. We do have authority, the authority of a private citizen, and when you are security, your power ends at the end of your shift and at the end of that property line. We are not police officers, and that is why I believe we should not replace the police force. We should supplement the police force.
Security guard vary from state to state.
On the target.
Along with the firearms training we saw, in Texas, security guards also need to pass background checks.
Every state is different, and so it's a state-run industry. And so even to the local level sometimes.
I spoke with Steve Amate with the National Association of Security Companies. He travels the country in support of states adding training requirements for security guards. There's no national standard, but more cities and states are putting in training requirement laws.
Yeah, no national standard for really anything when it comes to law enforcement, security, personal protection. Each state has different gun laws, different ways you can carry. A lot have constitutional carry. I'm in Arizona. We one of the most gun-friendly states of all time, and I love it.
He says right now 28 states require specific hours of training for a security guard to carry a gun. This week, Maryland's governor signed a bill that will make his state the 29th next year. A law is now in effect in Tennessee that requires security guards to go through de-escalation training as well as learn CPR and first aid. The law is called Dallas's Law, named after a man who died after being restrained by security guards in Nashville in 2021.
Rest in peace. I believe Dallas was his name. I would agree. I think that every state needs a lot of training required for security guards to be on the job, because one mistake like that can end somebody's life. You lay on somebody wrong, they asphyxiate, they pass away. And the majority of the times, we don't want to take somebody's life. Lethal for lethal. And a restraint is not something that requires lethal force. So we definitely do not want to accidentally take an innocent person's life due to lack of training. So I agree with that. I'm all for it. First aid, CPR, and to be an armed guard, there needs to be hours of training and a lot of hours on the range, simply drawing your pistol from the holster, reholstering it, and putting those bullets on point.
I did ask what concerns Amate as security guards are being hired to protect more places.
I do worry that people are going to think that this private security officer, he's wearing a uniform, he's armed, but he's not a police officer. And so tempering that expectation, it's very important.
He says it's important people remember the job of many security guards is to deter crime.
It's a deterrent for crime to potentially happen. It's not going to stop everything, but like if you see a car that's marked with lights and somebody's driving around constantly being present, that criminal looking to score a quick couple $100 from a catalytic converter is going to think twice before stepping foot on your property.
Exactly. Security prevents simply from being there. We don't see everything that we prevent. Let's get that straight. We don't see it all. But crimes of opportunity, absolutely. That's why if you are at one of these posts where you have to move around and you have to do those patrols, stagger your patrols a little bit. Don't be predictable, because a lot of times people will time you as well. But security is absolutely there to prevent crimes of opportunity. And I want to remind people, the people watching that are not in the security field, the security officers that do watch, you may watch it in the future, is that it's not just crime, it's also safety. Because a lot of times when things happen, say you have an active shooter, if you have gone over your post patrols, there are evacuation processes there that employees of this area, residents of this area may not know. So it's not always just crime prevention. We also the first contact when it comes to safety, fire evacuations, flood protocols, so many things. So I encourage you guys, once again, to be on point, take your training seriously, and to train routinely. Nothing you should do in our industry should be money focused initially. However, if you take the proper training, you get the proper pay. You deserve it. You got the proper training and the experience, absolutely. Absolutely. But don't just do it because it's a couple extra dollars and not take it seriously, because you will find yourself in a position where you have somebody's life in your hands. And trust me, you do not want to live with that guilt. Until next time, Captain Malik, DesertWallSecurityAgency.com. Check us out. Until next time, be safe, stay vigilant.
We've got the building surrounded!